The former artist ended her career to fully focus on raising her 2-year-old son. At the supermarket, she ran into an acquaintance, Sally, who now works at the gallery in her place. The girl realizes that she has created a prison for herself called motherhood. She feels isolated from society, has gained weight, lost her former attractiveness and become less intelligent. Now she fears she may never be happy again. Of course she would never say this out loud, pretending instead that she loves the role of being a mother. All her days feel the same. Everything revolves around taking care of the young son. Naturally the girl loves him, but since his birth, she feels as though she has lost her identity. The role of a housewife clearly doesn't suit her. At times the girl hates her life. Was motherhood worth risking everything for? If the girl leaves the house, it's only to go for walks with her son. Her social circle now consists solely of other mothers, but she doesn't like them at all. When her son began using foul language in public, the girl thought she was the worst mother in the world. Of course she's not alone in feeling this way. Other mothers in the postpartum yoga group chat were intrigued to learn that she used to be an artist. Many of them are also passionate about art. The girl would love to chat with them, but it's already time to put her son to bed. Before sleep, she read him a bedtime story, but the boy wouldn't settle down. He cried for half the night, wanting to play and demanding her attention. The girl knows she shouldn't be angry with her son, she had been warned this would happen. The girl wants to do everything right, but she simply has no energy left. One day while playing horsey with her son, he said that mommy was fluffy. In the bath, the girl discovered fur growing on her back. Additionally, her teeth had become sharper, and excess hair was covering other parts of her body. The girl burst into hysterical laughter. Well, after giving birth, nothing surprises her anymore. Her husband, who is always traveling on business trips and is rarely home, returned. The girl mentioned that her body was changing and her sense of smell had become heightened. Perhaps it's perimenopause. The man dismissed his wife's concerns as overly dramatic. The girl doesn't feel understood by her husband, who believes many women would envy her life, as being a housewife is so easy. The girl wants to find a part-time job, but her husband deemed it a bad idea. He insisted that he would love to spend every day with their son, however the wife realizes this is not true. The next day the family took a walk in the park. To help his wife, the man took on some of the childcare responsibilities. However, as soon as the girl lay down to rest, he kept bothering her, unable to manage on his own. The girl feels her patience wearing thin. Eventually she told her husband that when he's away, she handles everything herself without any help. That night, their son was awake and fussy. The girl was annoyed that her husband ignored this and just slept. She woke him up, asking him to do something. In the morning as he brewed coffee, the man told his wife that she had been unfair to him the previous night. However, he tries to remain understanding and avoid conflict. The man is about to leave for another 4-day business trip. Before departing, he advised his wife to take things easier because happiness is a personal choice. At these words, the girl was ready to hit him but restrained herself. Once again she was left alone with the child. While her son played on the playground, the girl searched the internet for her strange symptoms. Suddenly all the dogs in the neighborhood began to act oddly around her, as though she were one of them. When the dogs took off running, the girl, holding her son's hand, suggested they catch up with the animals. For the first time in a long while, she laughed genuinely. Lying on the grass, the girl reminisced about her childhood. Her mother once had a chance to become a famous European singer but instead chose to raise her children. The girl feels she's repeating her mother's fate. The son demands so much attention, taking away all her personal time. One day the boy smeared paint all over the kitchen floor and cabinets. As she scrubbed the paint off, the girl repeatedly asked herself what was wrong with her. She doesn't understand why she's been thinking about her mother, who passed away long ago, so often recently. Why now? Meanwhile, her body continues undergoing strange transformations, but the girl attributes them to a hormonal imbalance, just like her heightened sense of smell. The girl longs for her past, when she could express her creative potential. Becoming a housewife, she lost herself. At night, the girl woke up to barking. A pack of dogs had gathered near her house. At first she was glad for the unexpected company, but suddenly the dogs became aggressive and attacked her. In the morning as usual the girl prepared breakfast, thinking that the events of the previous night were a dream. However, finding a pile of wild animal carcasses at her doorstep, she panicked. Later, she went to the library to find a book that could help her make sense of the situation. The librarian Norma gave her a book that described, from a pseudoscientific perspective, transformations of women into various animals. The girl spent the evening reading, imagining herself as a bird woman flying freely, but her son interrupted her fantasies. The girl developed an uncontrollable craving for meat. While having breakfast with her son at a cafe, she ate without using utensils, drawing unwanted attention from those around her. Norma approached to lighten the mood, mentioning that she also had a son, now grown up. The girl desperately wanted to know how someone like Norma managed to balance motherhood and work. 4 days passed, and the husband returned. While getting ready to shower, the girl noticed new changes in her body. She didn't even have a few uninterrupted minutes to shower peacefully because her husband, unable to handle the child on his own, kept interrupting her. The girl was at her breaking point. Despite all her efforts, the son refused to fall asleep. Seeing her husband relax with a video game, the girl was ready to lash out at him in rage. Instead, she told him it was his turn to watch the child. The man reluctantly complied with her request. The girl intended to use these precious free minutes to sleep. Her husband wanted affection, but she had no strength left. That night, she continued researching literature about human-to-animal transformations in different cultures. She recalled how years ago, her mother used to run into the woods at night. If her mother were alive, the girl would ask her how she managed her anger. Did she regret becoming a mother? The girl increasingly wondered how many women had abandoned their greatness while men had no idea what to do with theirs. The next day the family visited an anthropology museum. There, they ran into one of the moms, Jen. Unlike the heroine, Jen looked happy. Later, the girl confided to her husband that it seemed she was no longer an artist. She constantly had a mental list of all the things she could no longer do. Perhaps being an artist is selfish, she thought, because children grow up so quickly. She knew she should be enjoying her role as a mother, but she just couldn't bring herself to do it. Her husband tried to support her, though he didn't fully understand what she meant. The past kept resurfacing. One night stepping outside, the girl began to behave like a dog, growling and digging at the ground. Her body grew fur, and her teeth sharpened even more. At some point she fully transformed into a dog and ran through the night streets. She caught a rabbit, feeling completely free in those moments. In the morning when her husband saw her covered in dirt, she said she had just gone for a run. At that moment the man found her incredibly attractive. Soon after, he left for another business trip. After seeing him off, the girl returned to her routine chores, but now they felt much easier. Maybe that's the secret to happiness. We're just animals. Realizing this, the girl began handling her role as a mother much better. She behaved like a dog, and her son copied her behavior. Other moms couldn't help but notice the changes in her. Visiting the library, the girl thanked Norma for the book. As usual, the weekly gathering of moms with their kids was underway. The girl no longer looked depressed or unhappy. Then, while all the children were playing, the girl began to speak the truth about motherhood. In society, it's customary to stay silent about how hard it is for women. But if you think about it, they are like goddesses because creating life is a real miracle. The other moms agreed with her. Many of them couldn't understand how they even decided to have a second child. Her husband finds it strange that his wife has trained their son to sleep in a dog bed and eat from a dog bowl. It's all fun and games, but this seems to be crossing a line. But the girl doesn't see anything wrong with it. First of all, the son likes it, and second, for the first time in 2 years, her back doesn't hurt. Meanwhile, her craving for meat shows no sign of fading. The man is increasingly bothered by these dog games, but he doesn't want to upset his wife, who for the first time in a long while doesn't seem irritated, so he goes along with it. The girl has more energy now. She even decided to have dinner with her friends. However, she found their company rather boring. Unlike her, each of them is busy with their own projects. She, on the other hand, is just a housewife with a dull, unremarkable life. The girl had nothing to talk about except for her son. A woman named Naya, also a mother, has a daughter. But Naya manages to focus on her passion for music because she hired a nanny. Naya is glad she hasn't lost herself. These words made the girl think. None of the people she considered her friends were interested in her problems. Not having realized her creative potential, she felt worthless. The girl tried to force herself to eat a cabbage salad, but at some point she just spit it out and started barking, scaring the people around her. Then she snatched a burger with meat from one of the restaurant visitors and began eating it greedily, growling. The girl hid behind the image of a dog. It's the only thing that gives her a sense of freedom. She would like to run away and stay an animal forever. Her instincts are increasingly taking over. She has become part of the local pack and even attacked her cat. The next morning the girl was horrified by what had happened. She felt sorry for harming her pet. Maintaining control was becoming harder and harder. At the playground she lost sight of her son and panicked. Fortunately, everything was fine. The husband was very upset by the pet's death. Suddenly the wife declared that something was wrong with her. The girl lacks support from her loved one, while her whole life revolves around the child. When the girl left her job to become a mother, she had no idea what she was agreeing to. The husband reminded her that it had been her idea. He had just agreed with her. Moreover, The man was also disappointed with family life, because his wife never even asks how he's doing. What happened to the woman he married? The wife replied that that woman ceased to exist after giving birth. The girl constantly thinks about how wonderful it would be to become an animal. Everything would be so simple. Soon she suggested to her husband that they get a divorce. Obviously their marriage had reached a dead end. Now the girl wants to find herself in this life again. The husband asked if she regretted having children. The girl replied that she didn't, but if given the chance to go back in time, she would change many things. They both felt deeply sorry. Soon the man packed his things and left. The boy misses his father, and his mother tries to make up for it. Norma couldn't help but notice how exhausted the girl was. Norma admitted that she had also gone through all of this. Any woman who decides to become a mother doesn't immediately realize that her life will change forever. And not everyone can come to terms with these changes. The girl really needed to hear this from someone else. She met with the other moms for a glass of wine. Gradually each of them began to admit how hard motherhood is for them. It's a job for which they don't get paid or even thanked. Society demands too much from them. The girl's ex-husband took their son for the weekend. Now she would have some time that she could fully dedicate to herself. The girl took a canvas, but didn't end up painting anything. Suddenly she wanted to look through family photos. Then the girl went for a run to distract herself, while the man left alone with their son, was unprepared for the challenges he would face. The girl finally started painting. Her hands remembered everything. The weekend flew by quickly, and the man returned the son to his ex-wife. He admitted that it had been very difficult. The girl in turn said that solitude had done her good. She even came up with an idea for a new project. The following weekend, the girl planned to leave the son with her ex-husband again. But this time he understood what it was like to be with a child in four walls, 24/7. Feeling rested, the girl happily spent time with her son. All the dogs from the neighborhood followed her around. Now the girl finds joy in motherhood, accepting all its good and bad sides, just like her mother once did. By the way, aside from painting, the girl has also started taking an interest in creating anthropological figures. A child loves its mother with unconditional, the strongest love in the universe, and that is more precious than anything in the world. This is the essence of motherhood. Soon the girl's new art exhibition took place, causing a real stir. Her ex-husband and other moms were very proud of her. But above all, the girl was happiest to see Norma. It was thanks to Norma's support that the girl hadn't broken down in the past. When the event was over, the girl's ex-husband told her how sorry he was for supporting her decision to give up her art 3 years ago. Her talent had almost been wasted. Old feelings flared up between them. They decided to start rebuilding their family life. Now their main goal was happiness. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel not to miss more exciting new products. Also, the authors will be pleased if you leave your opinion in the comments.